Well, hello everybody, and welcome to When Hinges Creek is on YouTube's very first YouTube show. Um, so the entire point of me doing these videos is because I get questioned a lot about what my life is like, what is being a haunter actually on the day to day. A lot of people assume that my life as a haunter is a lot like an episode of Face Off, where we sit around all day, in cool black clothes and make masks and stuff. And the reality is that kind of stuff is a pretty small portion of what we do. We also do almost everything we do at Wind Hinges Creek and Reindeer Manor Haunted House is generally all things that are done in-house. We call in very little outside help, and generally if there's something that we need to do that one of us doesn't know how, someone will figure out a way to make it happen, and we've done that with pretty great success. I mean, even our marketing is something that we had to develop from an internal sort of place. So as such, we all wear a lot of different hats. When people ask me what a typical day at work is like, I never know what to tell them because I've never had one before. That's just not in my wheelhouse, and I love that. I love that every day is something new and unusual. So I figured the best place to start would be the first project that's come up since I decided to launch the channel. And that was how to put together a theme song. Now, before we go any further into this, I need to explain. I grew up as a musician. I started playing piano at age 7 or 8. I picked up the drums pretty earnestly at about 10, and then have just kind of been picking up other instruments since then. Beefy Dan and I actually play in a rockabilly group together, and we both sing in that group, and he plays guitar and I play upright bass. And I've played keyboards and accordions in professional types of capacities, guitar, bass, upright bass. I've been a drummer off and on over the years and a singer, and I used to own a recording studio, which is kind of how I got my start into self-employment. I'll be making a video about that soon too. That didn't actually go super great. There's a happy ending, and I think people would get a kick out of that, but I digress. So when it was time to put together a theme song, I decided just to do it myself. And if you want to know how to record a song using portable devices like iPads and iPhones, there are thousands of fantastic YouTube videos of people far more qualified than I. To call this even a song, it's really more of a jingle. Calling it a song, I think, is a bit of an overstatement. And what I did is the same method I use. There may be a few of you that remember my toaster sessions where I would record a song in the middle of the night and I would send it out. And I always did it in under an hour, and I didn't use any kind of an interface. I would literally just set the phone in front of whatever instrument I was playing. And generally when I would do vocals, I found the best sounding vocals when I set the phone on top of my toaster in my kitchen, and that's why they became the toaster sessions. So that's what I did today. To equate this another way, me saying that this is how to record a song would be like me telling you, here's how you give somebody a haircut and getting a pair of scissors and lopping the ponytail off on the back. This is a very down and dirty way to do it. And honestly, if the channel takes off and people seem to be interested in what I'm doing, I'll probably record a better version of it later. But I needed something for now. So what I did is I used what's called a multi-track DAW. I use one by a company called Harmonic DAW. There's a million of them out there, but the basic long and short of it is it's kind of like layers in Photoshop. What a multi-track DAW allows you to do is record one thing on one track, and then you can leave that there and record a second thing on a second track, and it stays separate from the first thing. Now when you play them, you hear both things playing at the same time, and then you can adjust the volume of each one. You can get in there and edit each one independently of the other, and then you can just keep layering and layering and layering. So what I did, and again, this is super down and dirty and super fast. Like for drums alone in a real studio, you could use between 8 and 16 tracks just getting a good drum set sound. So what I am going to show you, it's a very handy tool, especially if you're a songwriter. You know how it is when you get in that vibe and you just kind of need to get your ideas down like super fast before you forget them and kind of lose that mental space that you're in. It can be really handy for that, but it's not like the sort of thing you would like release and put out publicly, unless you're me and you put it on YouTube. So, you know, I digress. But so, kind of visually, I'll show you on my phone here. We have tracks up here at the top, and then there's waveforms. So I know it's really hard to see, and I'm sure there's some way to interface these things together. And you can see down here, those are my vocals. You can see the little spaces in between my vocal lines. And what I did is I started with drums and then added bass guitar, or upright bass rather, and then regular guitars, and then vocals. So I'm going to show you that whole process now of me doing that. I still keep them set up and I keep playing them. I actually started out my entire career as an entertainer. I kind of started out with the drum set, so it also gives us something solid time-wise to put the other instruments up against. Otherwise, you're just kind of winging it. All right, let's lay this down. When Hinges Creek is on YouTube, when Hinges Creek is on YouTube, when Hinges Creek is on YouTube, when Hinges Creek. It is a catchy little tune. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that music under some footage, and that's going to be the intro video for the channel. So let's check that out and see how we did. Hinges Creek is on YouTube, when Hinges Creek is on YouTube, when Hinges Creek is on YouTube, when Hinges Creek. Alrighty, so that's it. That is going to be the intro from here on out, until I come up with something a little bit better. But again, if you're really interested in multi-track recording, this is probably about the worst possible place you can start. But if you need to get the job done and get it done super quick, that's how we did it. So anyhow, stay tuned. I have a pretty serious pile of video ideas that I would like to do, and we have a lot of projects coming up that we're going to try to document and kind of share this whole experience with everybody who's interested in watching. So thank you much, and hit that subscribe button if you want to keep track of what's going on with when Hinges Creek is on YouTube. Take care, everybody.